So in the last video I showed you my Inktober sketchbook, and it's this pith book which I've covered in this quite nice black and white paper. I'm going to do something with that inside page, but I don't know what yet. So I've already showed you in the last video the first 7 days, so just flicking through them quickly. Just kind of getting a feel for using the ink in those pages, and then moved on to the next week. So the prompt was your favourite leaf, and I chose a variety of cyclamen leaves and did them using stipple, which is not a technique that I'm particularly keen on doing, but it kind of worked out okay. And I did cheat a bit. I used a kind of scumbling effect with the pen and cross hatching on the darker areas, just the stipple in other areas there. So that was quite fun to do, but a bit time consuming, that technique. And the next one was a branch. So I chose a birch branch, which is quite nice branches, you know, they've got these kind of like eyes, I always think, in them. And this other branch, I don't actually know what that is, but it's got loads of lichen on it and it's very dark, so I quite like that as a contrast. We've got just a line drawing of a birch leaf there. So that was the second one for that week, and just on using hatching lines, really, cross hatching and hatching lines. So next up is a couple of the small pumpkins for Halloween. I didn't finish writing the text on it there, but I'll maybe do that later. Used a cast shadow on here, which is something I wouldn't normally do, so it's quite fun to do. Again, hatching and cross hatching, quite dense as well. And then these darker markings on the pumpkins as well, these little mini pumpkins. And I used a bit of stipple on the stalks, which worked out well for those, because they are quite spotty looking. And then I did this Amanita rubescens, the blusher, which I found in the woods just at the bottom of the road. It's quite nice. It was lying on the ground. It looks a bit odd where I've put it across the bend in the paper. It looks a bit bent, but it was kind of like that. And I wanted to put leaves around it really and do it on the ground, but I ran out of time for that one. But it's still quite nice to do. Again, it was all hatching lines really. Bit of cross hatching here and there. But quite enjoyed doing that one. Fairly simple. And then your favourite flower was the prompt for this one. And so I used the Scottish bluebells, which are still blooming in the garden. And so they're quite nice. I like them. They are one of my favourite flowers. And I'm surprised that they're still flowering. So I did the flowering stems, and we've got some buds on there and some that are going to seed. And the two different types of leaves, you've got these sort of almost spoon-shaped leaves at the base, and then these long thin strap-like leaves. So the next one was bark, and I chose this birch again, and it's a birch with this polypore fungi on it, which I hadn't seen before in the woods there. These great big really hard plate fungi. So that was quite fun to do. It was quite a lot of work though. It was cross hatching again and hatching. Quite dense and dark, and I used a slightly heavier weight pen for that one, a 01, as well as the 005 and 3. And then ivy, I was really short of time, so it's quite sparse, this one, but I think it kind of gets across the scrambling habit of it on this on these stems and these little rootlets that there are as it clings up onto walls and trees and gravestones, and the roots there along the ground as well, slightly longer roots on the ground. So it was quite nice to do. It didn't take very long at all. And that's the second week. So I'm actually just about done with the third week, and we're almost at the end. So I'll show you the third week, and I'll probably only do 3 weeks because I missed most of the first week and I'm kind of short on time now, but it's been fun to do, and I would do it again, definitely, and I'll probably add to it as well because I have quite a lot of pages left in the book, and it's a great book. The paper's really nice for working on with ink, and it doesn't show through, particularly on the back of the paper. It's thick enough for the ink not to show through on the other side, so it all looks pretty clean really. I think maybe the very heavy ones show through a little bit. You can see that one through there, but overall the paper is really good. and quite strong paper with this pith sketchbook. So that's it, that's week 2.